Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to White Pine District Library Story Hour. Last week we talked about butterflies and how delicate their wings are and how beautiful they are. Today we're going to talk about some other insects. And some of them aren't as pretty as the butterfly. And right now we're seeing a lot of insects out there right now. And you can find them whenever you walk across your yard. Now, I brought a friend with me. We call them ladybugs, but their name is called ladybirds. And ladybugs have a very distinct red shell with black dots on it. Now, there are some bugs that look like ladybugs that are not true ladybugs. They have been brought in from other countries, and some of them are a little more destructive. Ladybugs are very helpful in the garden. They will eat aphids and different little bugs that will bother your plants and vegetables, so ladybugs are a good thing. I like ladybugs because they've got a surprise. When you look at them, they're on a wing, but then all of a sudden their shell can open up and out come their wings. They are a very cool little bug. Now I have a couple of little short things that I'm going to read with you today, and they're about different kinds of bugs and maybe a couple of spiders. Some of them may be familiar, some of them may not. The first one I'm going to read to you is called The Spider and the Fly. And the spider is one of those, well, it's kind of an insect, but it's not an insect. There's a lot of debate on it. The spider has more legs than your normal insects do. So that's getting very scientific. We'll talk about that on another time. But the little poem is called The Spider and the Fly. And it says, "Will you walk into my parlor?" said the spider to the fly. "'Tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I have many curious things to show when you are there." "No, no," said the little fly, "to ask me is in vain, for those who go up your winding stair can ne'er come back again." Now, the winding stair that the spider builds is his web, and we have all seen the unfortunate victims of his web. Spiders like to catch their lunch in their web, and we have all seen flies and different insects get caught into that sticky web that they have made. So we can understand why Mr. Fly did not want to go up the stairway of the spider. Another one that you may know very well is the Eensy Weensy spider, and it goes like this. Let's let our ladybug friend go away, and we all can do the Eensy Weensy spider. The Eensy Weensy spider crawled up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the Eensy Weensy spider climbed up the spout again. Now you can do that at home. Remember last week we did the butterfly with our hands? You can make an Eensy Weensy spider. Just twist your fingers like this. The Eensy Weensy spider crawled up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed that spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the Eensy Weensy spider crawled up the spout again. Now, spiders are one of those insects that some people don't like. But you know what? They are very cool because they can spin that web. And if you look at that web, it looks like a piece of art. Especially if you catch it in the morning when there's some dew on it. It's gorgeous. And spiders look completely different. Some of them are larger and look kind of furry. Some of them don't look furry at all. But they always have 2 parts to their body, and they always have 8 legs. They have a head and an abdomen, and then they have 8 legs. Now, we can do another hand. I guess a hand story would be what I would call it. We're going to put our ladybug friend over there. It's called a beehive. And right now, the bees are slowing down a little bit. There's not as many flowers for them to get their food from. And they've done a good job this summer pollinating our apple trees and our tomato plants and all those things in our gardens that we are now eating and enjoying. So the bees did a very good job this summer taking care of us. And it goes like this. So you make a fist. Here is the beehive. Where is the bee? Away he is hidden where no one can see. Watch and you will see them. Out come out of the hive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, they're alive. So can you do that? Make that beehive. Here is our beehive. Where is the bee? He's inside that beehive where no one can see. Watch and you'll see them. They'll come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, they're alive. Now, bees are very important to us, like I said earlier. They take care of us. They provide us with a lot of food. They pollinate a lot of the blossoms on our plants so that we have food to eat. And I brought a little sample of a bee. He might be difficult to see in the jar. So let's take him out. If I can get the jar open. And I'm going to put him in my hand. Now, this bee is no longer with us. He died. I found him in the yard. And he looks a little worse for wear. But you can still see how fuzzy he looks. The fact that he has 3 parts to his body. And that he is an insect, therefore he has 4 legs. Let's see if he'll come out real carefully. Now, I brought my magnifying glass again, so let's see if we can get it so you can see my little bee. There he is. Now that bee, if you look at him, whoops, getting where you can see him a little better. I guess I should have stayed where I was. Maybe you can see him without the magnifying glass. Let's try it without the magnifying. There he is. You can see he has 3 parts to his body. The head with the antenna is closest to you. And the yellow portion in the center is his abdomen, and then the back portion is the thorax. And then you can see the wings right there. And he has antennae. They look a little rough. They're kind of pointed downward. But he's one of the bees that has pollinated a lot of things in our yards to make sure we have food this winter. I'm going to put him back in my little jar so he stays in good shape so you can see him again sometime. But he's an insect that we see. And insects can make especially bees and wasps make different kinds of hives, and it looks like a honeycomb, doesn't it? This one is a wasp. I'm not sure exactly what kind of wasp, but you can see all those little cells in there where the bees can stay snug and grow before, you know, they become an adult. The ones with the little covers on them, those bees did not develop the way they're supposed to, and therefore they did not hatch out. So there is the bee's comb. Now, and I just realized that I forgot to bring something over here, so I'm going to pause you for just a minute. Okay, so I ran and got my bee's nest that I forgot to grab before I came over here to videotape this. But this is a paper wasp nest, and you have probably seen them in trees, maybe out in the woods, maybe in your yard. Probably not something that you want to play by, especially when the bees are still, or when the hornets are still in there, and the wasps. You want to leave them alone because they can sting. When they feel threatened, they're going to sting you. But their nest is a work of art. If you look at all the work that's went into their nest, it is a work of art. It is beautiful, and you can see all the work that went into that. It's just beautiful. And they've attached it to this branch. A lot of work went into that. I'm going to set this over here so it doesn't fall over. Or maybe it will. Still wants to fall over. There we go. Now, this is what the inside of that nest looks like. You can see the similar outside, and there are layers of comb inside, and that's where those wasps stay and create their nests, and that's where their young are. I just thought this was really cool, so I could see what was on the inside and not just what was on the outside. And this stuff feels just like paper. It's very delicate, and it's shedding all over Miss Patty's desk. But it's very, very delicate. There are a lot of other insects out there. This is a cool insect. This guy is a praying mantis. Unfortunately, I found him. He'd been stepped on or something. But he was in pretty good shape. But he is a very cool insect that you don't see them a lot. They're fairly good size. This one's probably 2 inches tall. But I found him. But there are a lot of insects out there in our world that help us out. And I was reading just today that you can tell that a bug is a true bug because it always has an X on its back. And it's because the way the wings are formed on the back of the bug, and it creates an X. So now I'm going to have to go out in my yard and find some bugs and see if that is true. I'm not sure that I can say it is, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to see if that is true. Now, we have other bugs. This one is not in our area. This one is where it's very dry and very hot. And he has his own family, but Miss Patty did not like my bug. See that bug? That's a scorpion. My daughter found this for me. He's a nasty looking thing. Yet again, he will leave you alone if you leave him alone. And I guess the best thing to do is watch him from a distance and let him do his thing and you'll do yours. So, bugs share our world with us. They are part of the circle of life. We have to have bugs in order to have our fruits and vegetables and our grasses and take care of our trees and different plants that we have. We need those bugs. They also do other jobs. Some of them are not so nice, but they keep our world clean. When things die, they clean it up. So, bugs do a lot of things for us. There are a lot of different bugs. Right now you might see grasshoppers in your yard. They're all over my house and they're big. They're great big grasshoppers. Right now you might be hearing crickets, and they're those ones that sing at night, and sometimes they can be annoying because you can't get to sleep because they make a lot of noise. But they are a very cool thing. And then you can find books like this that have all kinds of bugs in it. Look at, oh, there's our butterfly friends from last time. Look, you can see up close their eyes, all kinds of things. But bugs are cool. And if you can sit and watch some bugs, just like the butterflies, we don't touch. We don't touch. We watch them with our eyes. We might listen to them too, but we don't touch them. Just let them do their thing. And they'll be much happier, and so will we. Now, we also have a buggy activity bag for you that you can request. Hopefully you'll find some things in there that you like to do. There's some craft things to do. You can make a grasshopper. The direction, or there's a picture of what it looks like when you're in there. You just need a little bit of glue, and you'll probably have to do some cutting. There is a baggie with, and that's going to look like this. You got a cardboard tube, stuff for it's inside. You can make a grasshopper. You're going to find a baggie with some shapes of paper in there. That's so that you can make your own kind of bug. You might be able to make a ladybug with the things that are in there. I took some of the things that were in there and I made a ladybug, and I just used some glue and cut some of the shapes a little bit more to make them work. But here's my ladybug that I made out of the paper that is in here. You can see some of those shapes are in there. And just use some glue and use your imagination. What kind of bug do you think you would like to be? Or maybe what kind of bug do you think doesn't exist? Maybe you're going to invent a bug. But you can create your own bug with a little bit of glue and maybe some scissors. There's some pipe cleaners in there for antennae. There are some little eyes in there. So you can make what you want. Make a bug. Now, moms and dads, this is for you to help our little friends. These are alphabet cookies, and you're going to find on the front side the uppercase, and on the back side the lowercase. And this is a good way to help them get familiar with the alphabet and recognize the letters and understand that they're uppercase and lowercase, because some of them look the same, upper and lower, but some of them look very different. A looks very different. He's very angular and pointed as a uppercase, but when you turn him into a lowercase, all those angles disappear. It's all curvy now. So he changes. A B has two bumps when it's an uppercase, but when it's a lowercase, it only has one. So there are some differences, and it's hard for kids to learn those differences sometimes. So maybe you can just work with them on that. That's something you can work with them on. There are a couple of games in here, and the instructions are in there. They're not difficult games, but they're fun. One is matching and remembering where items were and seeing if you can make the match and get that for a point. The other one's called Cootie. A lot of you will remember Cootie as the plastic pieces that you stick together. But when I was growing up, we didn't have the plastic pieces. We had a dice, some paper, and a pencil. And you rolled the dice, and if you got a number 1, you got to draw a body. And everybody got to turn around the table. And the next time, maybe you'll get a head, which would be a number 2 on your dice. Now, if you got the number for the antenna or the eyes and you didn't have a head, well, you could not make your bug have antenna until they got a head. But it's a nice little fun game, and it helps the kids with using a pencil, and it helps them recognizing numbers, how to count, and how to play a game that they might enjoy sharing with other people. There is some alphabet work. There's how to draw a bee in there. There are some different, like, little worksheet things you can do. Label the parts of a bee. Sorting some things, big, little, and middle size. We talked about that this summer. Maybe matching parts. Maybe, I don't know. How do you think a bee moves or a butterfly flies? So there's some things in there for you to do. I hope you're having fun with the busy bags. All you have to do in order to get a busy bag is to give us a call here at the library, or send us an email, or just drop in, and we will get you a busy bag, and I hope you have some fun with it. Now, I've already talked longer than I'm supposed to, so I am going to let you go, and I hope to see you next week. Next week, we're going to talk about something that the bees visited this summer in order to help pollinate things. And we always like them because they smell nice, and our eyes like them too because they're nice to look at. So think about what we might be talking about next week. Something that smells good that the bees like to go to, that we like to look at. I think I know what it is. So you see if you can figure it out. And share with us anything you're doing with your busy bags. Send us a picture. Let us see what you made with some of your items in the busy bag. Or if you're playing the games, let us see that. And share it with your friends that come to Story Hour. Okay? Well, you have a nice day. Get outside, enjoy the sunshine, and look for those creepy crawly bugs or the ones that fly. They're everywhere. You just gotta look. If you sat still long enough, they might just come and find you. So you have a nice day. Enjoy the sunshine, and we'll see you next Tuesday back here at White Pine District Library. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.